Hi everyone, turn 31. Welcome back. This is a pretty big one. Lots of stuff going on. So, putting all those Chimbala gems to use in empowerment. This is going to be really fucking expensive. But I spent 50 air gems to get this guy to air 1. Then I'm going to spend another 30 for air 2. And then probably another 45 after that for air 3. But the end result of that is going to be that I'll have a guy who can summon air spirits, and that's useful to have around. I'm going to be using Voice of Absu to search my empire for water. I'm thinking that that's going to, like, I'm really behind on site searching. Like, all of this land up here is not searched, and that's a problem. Oh, and this is not missing some PD in some places. Go ahead and get that taken care of. But that means that I do need to like speed that up, and I've got the gems for it, so I think it'll be better for me to just use remote site searching spells. That said, I do need to actually research those remote site searching spells. I'm going to be going into alteration next, which doesn't give me any of them, unfortunately, but it gives me some great thug spells, which I'm also going to need. Let's look at just rituals. I can do arcane probing with evocation 3, which is something to consider. None of them are early with enchantment. And then thaumaturgy and haruspex for nature and augury for fire. So I'm definitely going to want some thaumaturgy if site searching spells are my plan. So we'll see where I'm at when I get to alteration 3. That gets a lot of my thug stuff online, and we'll go from there. All right. Got a Bane here, which I'm going to use as a bit of a thug. Some fire drakes. So there are those two right there. I guess we can have this guy. Yeah, these guys can just hang out the back here. How much protection do they have? They only have 10. Okay, we don't want them making initial contact. So, actually, let's leave them out for now. We can, I'm getting my guys here converging because of an event you'll see in a bit. I've got Chimbala pretty well outnumbered here, so I should be able to beat down these attackers and then just kind of march through their provinces. Found a magic site, a stone circle, so some extra nature gems. Very happy to see that. And then come back to the battles in a second. Picking up some blood slaves. Did I never actually search that spot? Okay, let's go ahead and search there. I like to set my site searchers to retreat, just to avoid nasty surprises. Down here in the caves, we can just search directly. Messenger from Vanarus, cooperate with them, so that'll. I'm not actually going to be fighting Rugajo, so basically we talked earlier about Rugajo getting all greedy over these mountains here, and then he messaged me. He's like, "Oh, BC, I guess you beat me to the race anyways. Want to have peace?" So I'm not happy with like the way he's been communicating and playing. That said, I don't really care. Like I've got enough AIs to deal with that. Just from a pragmatic point of view, I don't really want to be fighting Rugajo. So I was like, yeah, sure, whatever. He then started begging me for help versus Tartary, and versus Shiniyama. Shiniyama came down through the caves down to here. I think Shiniyama is AI. Where is Shiniyama? Shiniyama. Yeah. Shiniyama is AI. So it's like, sure, I might march in on him on the caves, because it's true, I might. I'm not going to commit to anything down there, especially with the way that he's been acting. But, I mean, it's something that I might consider doing. It's of direct benefit to myself and is very low risk, because basically I could fort these Mines of Fortune down here and just have a very solid choke point and push forward on Shiniyama however far I wanted. They wouldn't really be able to go past me. So that's something for me to consider. Let's go to the battles. So Pangea, AI Pangea attacking Independence. They sent in this white Minotaur, which is one of their luck dudes. So I get to see their bless. Tech, magic weapons, defense. Defense +3 means this comes with swiftness. There it is. So we've got 3 in all the elemental paths, blood 4, and astral 4. Solid rainbow. And then they actually got repelled because I think the white minotaur died. Oh no, but it got scared. So amusingly enough, that's not a province that I can seize, but hey, it's funny. Me attacking Asphodel with Moloch, this did not work well. So I just didn't have the right gear for this. We look at my plan here. It was to drain life with the Wraith Sword and push folks around with Trample. And use the ring for crowd control and protection 25. We go ahead and watch what actually happened. There's skeletons here, which I can't drain life from. And I'm trying to attack this Centaur Hierophant. And now we've got these black centaurs coming to town. Centaur Hierophant hasn't even blessed these guys, but Minotaur Lord isn't. Well, he's got double axe with 29. The result is going to be, you see me taking a lot of damage there. Those black centaurs just hit way too hard for the strategy I was trying to employ. And a repel-based strategy is not going to work because they have a defense of 20. So the plan will be the good old-fashioned brand and Vine Shield and go from there. That type of cheap thug tends to work really well against the AI, who will happily just send waves of troops into it. That reminds me, I do need to make another Shroud of the Battle Saint. Quick swap there, because this guy has a point of experience, which means he researches for 1 more. Just a tiny little optimization trick. How many boots do I have? Let's go ahead and make... no, I'm not going to make boots unless I have a hammer to make them with, because I'm just so short on nature gems. With fire gems, I'm going to be summoning Solar Ram next turn, assuming that no one took him for me. So that'll be nice to have. Let's see. Over here in Shambhala, I ran them over with some Reavers. Over here, some Cynocephalians that was up in this territory. So I'll have to decide whether these guys are tough enough to take on this throne or not. Throne of Ice would be nice if for the... speaking of which, let's go ahead and send you there. Throne of Ice would be nice for the water gems, if nothing else. Tartary versus Shambhala, and this was a fail on Tartary's part. The AI likes to put in a ton of PD, and this cheap little raiding squad was not good enough for that. These are just some basic horses led by Khan. And Shambhala just has a crap ton of stealthy spearmen, which might also... Well, no, these were PD spearmen. So there's literally not a single spell this cast. The horses just get ganked. And this is really good news for me, because the AI just remembers who it's at war with. It doesn't do like threat assessment. So Shambhala is going to be fighting back against Tartary, which will leave me open to kind of race them on the other side. Vanarus pushing back on Rugajo. And there's this Vanabog with their Bless. It's Rainbow, magic weapons, decay weapons, shock resistance, fire resistance, just basically every type of resistance. And defense and reinvigoration. This is definitely a Thug Bless designed for their Vanabogs. They're like, the Oathbounds can use it, don't get me wrong, but I feel like this is primarily a Vanabog thing, because the Oathbounds, like, he didn't add any offense to them. There's withering weapons, sure, but not anything to hit harder than 18 damage. In any case, Rugajo had their siege crew regen fortitude and a little bit of magic resistance, as you recall. That brings them up to 18 protection with resistances. Some of the skin shifters turn into bears, and the bears just hit hard enough with 2 attacks to be able to punch through the crab shells. Meanwhile, the Oathbounds go for the priest, who turns into a dragon but still dies. And then the Oathbounds are going to wrap up these guys from behind. This shark is hanging in there forever. I didn't realize, I should have, but I didn't, that Rugajo's regular sacreds, the Nukua, have size 2, and the sharks have size 4, so those complement each other nicely. These sharks are pretty good, and the berserkers are even better. Who's escaping? Dragonized Nukua. Alright, so Vanarus is free, and if I were Vanarus, then I would definitely kind of march up the coast and take the fight to Rugajo. Of course, I would also be deploying more thugs, so we'll see if they do that. Me fighting Shambhala here. Pretty much perfect. And Asphodel sent in their giant army to that province of mine that I was hoping to build a fort in. I'm regretting not attacking them one turn later, but I didn't realize that they had that many free spawn that close to me. Is there anything particularly noteworthy in this army? MR negates on the sleep vine, so I'm definitely going to want to make sure to, when I send a thug in, have magic resistance on them. Who are you? You're a Carrion Lord. What did you do to everybody? Puppet Mastery. Oh, so this is buff to all the mannequins. And then this Carrion Lord doing the same thing. Because ideally, I can just have a thug smack around all these guys rather than needing a full actual army to confront them. And then finally, Campbell's for free, continuing to do what he does. All right. Events. The Earth Gnome, that's very nice. Earth Gnome is actually a pretty good thug chassis. It has the Earth, which is the best thug path, and it's got built-in regeneration and decent HP. So, very grateful to get that. Some growth, some elementals, more elementals, growth, lots of fertility festivals. I'm not quite sure what caused that to happen everywhere. Then this thing and extra resources in the caves. No casualties. Well, this was like PD was able to hold off these elementals. This is the Shambhala army that's besieging me, and they lost a third of their stuff to this independent attack, so that works out well for me. Beat those elementals and these Vinemen. Where was that? That's down here in Shambhala. And then lost a scout. So, like I said, lots going on. Gonna liberate Bright Woods here and then push on into Shambhala. And we're actually pretty close to Shambhala itself. It is blocked by mountain passes, so capturing it might end up waiting until the new year. But either way, should be able to make some progress there. And have to watch out for their bird, who's pretty tough. We'll see if he decides to show himself. And then in the west, just have to figure out some efficient strategies for dealing with the giant-ass horde of forest creatures. So, as always, thanks for joining me, and I'll see you on turn 32.